I'd like to welcome everybody out again to our Meet the Instructor night. This is our dive social out here at Cyborg Pirate. I'm Forrest. I am the owner of Cyborg Pirate along with our wonderful staff. So I want to appreciate and say thanks for the staff for all the hard work that they've done, and most of all, hey, thank you guys for coming out and being part of it tonight. Tonight we do have, we are coming up on lobster season, and we do have a lobster trip that's coming up. And so we have one of our great instructors who has been a long-time hunter-gatherer for the underworld, and he is going to be giving our nice little seminar tonight. So a little bit about Grizz. He's an instructor. He's been diving since 1961. He dove in the Army. He was also a commercial diver. He's been a instructor for a number of years since 1986, and growing up in Southern California, living on Catalina Island, he developed quite a taste and quite a great skill ability of gathering and hunting different types of scallops, also abalone and of lobster. So since we're coming up on lobster season, and he loves to teach the hunter-gatherer specialty course, what better way than to have someone who has more experience than pretty much everybody all combined. So Grizz, without further ado, I'll have you take over, and thank you.
Thank you, Forrest. And again, thank you everybody for coming out and joining us tonight. As Forrest said, yes, September 26th at 6 p.m., lobster season starts, and it runs through March 19th. Now, there are a few things that you do need to know about these. For example, you are going to need a fishing license with a lobster card on it. And then after the season, by April, you need to report this card. If you don't, the following season, you're going to get an extra $20 charge on you. Now, some of the items that you will need to begin with is going to be a lobster gauge. Okay. Now, some people like to have them on a lanyard. Myself, I like to have them on a retractable to where I can put it on my BC and keep control of it. Something else that you're going to need are lights, because lobster are basically a nocturnal creature. Okay. So nighttime is usually the best time to get them. Now, lights, what you're going to need is a tank light. Okay, for when you're diving, when you were taught your night diving, this is what you were taught. You also need to have your primary and a backup light, which here at Cyborg Pirate, we do have them. Now, myself, this is what I like, the lightsaber. Okay, but everybody has their own preferences. Now, one more thing that you're going to need is a game bag to put your lobster in. Now, I recommend if you're going to come out on a lobster trip that you bring two. One to carry on you for putting your lobster in, and then one to put your lobster in for when you're on the boat. We still got the other one. Now, there are different types of lobster bags, game bags. This type here has a trap door in it. With this, you pop it in and it automatically closes, and you don't have to worry about anything coming out, and then you can open it from the bottom. One of my favorites is the one-handed. So you're going to have it on your belt and you can open it up. Whoop, excuse me. One-handed, just to put your lobster in and close it up. It's like a trap door. And then another type is a canvas type bag. Nice thing about this is when you put the spiny lobster in, because of the spines, it's not going to catch on the neck, okay, or any part of the body, and will slide right down. But if you really get ingenious, what you can do is build one. Okay, it's going to take a little thought. This one here I built a number of years ago, and it has trap doors on it. So once it goes in, nothing comes out, and then again unties at the bottom to release it. Now, when you catch a lobster, you can only measure it while you're in the water, either on the bottom or on the surface. Okay, if you were to take it up on the shore or a boat, and a fish and game were there, and they measure them and find one that's undersized or short, as we call it, they're going to find you. And they can confiscate all your gear also. So keep that in mind, please. Now, how do you catch a lobster? Okay, a lot of people, well, in my opinion, as they're out walking around freely, what you want to do is grab them right where the carapace, this portion here is the carapace, and then the tail. Right where the two come together, this is where you want to grab them and push down on them. Okay, then you can work your other hand underneath them and then measure them. Now, some people, they like to get them when they're in the holes. Now, when you get in the holes, they grab them by the antennas. These antennas will snap very quickly. So, what you want to do is grab them right down by the base of the antenna. That's going to be much stronger, less chance, and you can be able to pull them out. But if they're in a hole, one thing a lobster do is they're going to fight you. And when I say fight you, what they're going to do is they're going to hunch up into their hole so you can't get them. And it's going to be a struggle. Then you work your hand underneath them, okay, and then just try to, work them on out. Remember, they're very quick, okay, so it's easy to lose them. So that's why you want to keep a good grip on them. Now, the most important thing, how do you measure a lobster? Well, with your lobster gaze, and this is something you also have to have with you at all times while lobster diving, okay? This way, Fish and Game will see that, you do have a measuring device. Very important. Now, to measure them, and this is an undersized one, obviously, a short, you're going to take the edge of your, one end of your gauge, and you're going to put it right between the horns. Okay, right between the horns. Then you're going to see if it goes over the carapace. If it does go over the carapace, it is considered a short. You have to let it go. But if it stops anywhere on the carapace, that's a legal bug. That one you can bag. Now, also, something you want to look for is if you can flip it over, is look at its fins. Okay, on the bottom. The males will have the short fins. Okay. A female, much larger and rounder. Okay, so you always want to look to see if there are eggs. You don't want to keep a female that has eggs. Okay, Fish and Game will get you on that one too. Unfortunately, you have to let that one go. But there still are some big bugs out there, are toads. If they're over 5 pounds, we call them a toad. Okay, I have a friend of mine that last year on outside the breakwater in Long Beach picked up 11.5-pound lobster. That was a big toad. Okay, I'm not sure what the record is, but definitely over 30 years old, we guesstimated. Wow. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? So they are out there, and I'm hoping that to see you out on our first annual lobster trip in October, 9th to the 11th. And if you have any questions, please come on in. Another thing we're going to be grabbing while we're out there are going to be scallops. These you don't need, well, you still need a fishing license. But scallops, 2-day trip, that's 20 of them. Also on lobster, you're allowed 7 per day in possession. So if you get in the water, say about 11:30 at night, and you dive all the way into the next morning, that's 14 lobster you can hang on to. You always got to think positive about lobster. So thank you very much for joining us. I hope you have a little information on this. And if you'd like to learn more about hunting and gathering, come on in to Cyborg Pirate. Okay? We'd love to show you how. And thank you all very much for joining us tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. We guesstimate about 30 years, maybe a little bit more.
How do you, is there any telltale sign or just kind of knowledge and
It was a female lobster. He didn't want to ask her.
Oh, there you go.
Especially with kids already.
They have pincher claws, right?
No, those are actually what are called Maine lobster. This is a spiny rock lobster.
Oh, okay.
This is what you'll find in southern Florida and in along the west coast.
Oh, I didn't even realize that there's a kind.
Any other questions?
Do they eat the eggs? Like, they do for fish eggs? What do they call it?
No, lobster actually, I didn't want to say, lobster are actually the cockroaches of the sea.
Yeah.
But they get real nervous around melted butter.
Yeah, so they're into the same food source as crab and all that. Then, right?
Yes, they are a crustacean, yes.
Yeah, so they're cleaning up. So, yeah, cool.
Yeah, there's some great ways of cooking them, but you got to get into my underwater hunter class for that.
All right.
But the nice thing about the underwater hunter class also is, and I'm not talking about hunting lionfish with just a pole spear. I show you how to tie bands for your spear guns. I bring in my long tom, a gun that I built. I have a spear tip that I designed and built also. And I bring in other guns that I've made modifications on. And we talk about gun safety. We talk about fishing game rules, what you can take, what you can't take. And we talk about abalone. Abalone season, from my understanding, April of next year, the moratorium will be lifted and you can start taking abalone again.
All right.
Yeah, and
That's cool.
scallops. You know, these are the things that I like going and getting.
Yeah.
How hard is it to get them out of their holes, the lobsters?
Well, like I said, the thing about lobster when they're in their holes, and that's normally where they're at during the day, or in crevices and whatnot. When they sense you and they feel that you're trying to get them, they're going to hunch up and tighten themselves in there. Now, very important about looking in holes and whatnot for lobster, you gotta look for their companion. Normally, lobster are going to be in a hole with a moray eel.
Oh.
Okay, so you want to keep an eye on that. When you see one, try to look around and take a look, see what's in there. Question?
When there's multiples in, like 3, 4 of them in there,
Uh-huh.
is there any tricks on like which one to go after?
Normally, yeah, going for the largest one, or if they all look like they're of legal size, whichever one looks like it's the easiest. Because when you grab one, the rest of them are going to scatter. Now, when they're out at night, they're basically foraging. You can, when there's a bunch of them, say on a rock or something like that, it is possible to get one for each hand. Now, with a good dive buddy, they can help you out there by measuring it for you so you can bag it. Now, one of my things that I've always noticed, or I surmise, is that when you have a light on a lobster, whichever direction their antennas are pointing, I believe that that's where their attention is at. So if you can be kind of slick, not too much water movement until right the last second when you grab them. But I think that's where their attention is, so you have a better chance of coming up on them from behind.
What
and
is the
hopefully get 'em.
best time of day to get lobsters?
Night.
Night.
At night, because they are a nocturnal creature, and they come out at night to forage.
So you don't want to get them while they're sleeping.
If you can, yeah. Get them any way you can. Yeah.
But,
Yes.
Now, if we're doing them at night, is there like a red filter or UV light that you prefer on there? I mean, which ones are they? Are they like some of the fish are not seeing that red spectrum?
I've never noticed. I've never used a different type of. They used to come. Who was it? Underwater Kinetics. They had on their UK 1200 lights. They also had a red lens on it.
Yeah.
But the problem with that, in my eyes, is that it limits your visibility also. So
Yeah.
I've always just kept it to a bright white
kept
light.
it, okay.
Yeah. And sometimes you see it, you can just kind of flash your light away until you get closer.
Yeah.
And then
So
don't
then-
put your light so close, but
So in your years, it's not been too noticeable that they're gonna. Oh, hey, I see this. I'm gonna run away.
no,
Yeah.
I've never noticed that before. They detect more the motion in the water than they would any brightness,
Okay.
I believe. Any other questions?
Do they ever attack people?
No. But
Yes.
when there's a story I was told, but they call them a spiny lobster, okay? but on their tails, they've got hooks. And the hooks are very pointy and very sharp. I've got a remembrance of one. I've got a scar in the palm of my hand from where one got me at one time. But actually attack you, I've heard of one incident.
So, because of the hooks on the tail,
Uh-huh.
'cause I heard both ways. Like you said, you can either try to flatten out their tail because that's what they used to walk.
Yeah, when you grab them, press down on them.
But also when you said fighting, like trying to tug on them,
Mhm.
they give up pretty easy, right?
No,
they don't.
no. They're going to, especially if they're in a little hidey hole, what they're going to do is they're going to push their legs down and arch up the top of it to make it very difficult. Then the spines on them, on the top of them, they're going to kind of dig into the rock, into the reef and whatnot. They try to make it actually as difficult as they can for you. Yes.
So would you recommend wearing gloves then? And,
Oh, definitely.
Okay. And then, like what we have here, like.
Yes, those,
And-
no, go with the prism gloves, they're also right there.
The ones hanging there
Prism.
next to you? Keep going to the left?
Nope,
Left?
on the bottom.
You're the left?
On the bottom.
There you go.
Military
On the
level.
bottom.
On the bottom?
You want, these?
Oh, because of the.
Yeah, it's,
Yep.
Yeah, with a
Yeah,
good, with a
special.
good coating there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, almost like a
keep
gardener's
it from
glove,
getting
huh?
cut, yeah.
Yeah, similar to that.
Yeah.
Are they
Go-
slippery?
Go with my
Yeah,
display.
That was open, so you get a feel for it.
Yeah. So, you guys want to check it out?
Now, and one of the things you can do that also is depending on, because those do come in different sizes, you can slip those over your existing
The
gloves
gloves.
that you have. Right,
Yeah. So if you're cold sensitive hands, you got your warm gloves, and you got your work gloves.
exactly.
So those are the Mares Prism gloves. They're designed for free divers to do the same type of thing where they're spearing fish and grabbing a hold of fish, whatever else. So it's got that protective rubber coating on it, but it's also got that same Kevlar type mesh behind it. So it makes it a lot harder for things to penetrate, whatever else. They're also using it to pull barbs out or hooks out.
Yeah.
Works great for doing the lobstering, and also with that rubberized grip on it makes it so it's a little easier to hang on to them.
Yeah, it felt 10 times better than the gardening gloves at Harbor Freight. That's for sure.
Yeah. And the nice part is these are not that much more expensive.
Yeah.
You're not looking at these going, wow, that's an $80 pair of gloves.
Right tool for the right
But,
job. Yeah.
And you're a Cyborg Pirate. We can answer any questions you have about it. We can help give you suggestions and equipment.
What's
No.
the limit again for lobster?
7 per day in possession.
Okay.
So if you're on a 2-day trip, there's 14 bugs right there.
Cool.
So, question: does California do their possession like some of the other ones, where if you bring them up onto the boat, chop them and freeze them? Is that considered?
That's one thing you
processed?
don't do on the
Okay.
boat. For the simple reason, you cut that tail off,
But, now they can't.
they're not
measure
gonna be able to measure it.
Okay,
Because it's
yeah.
not the tail they're measuring, but it's between the horns on the carapace.
Right. And these things you do want to keep them alive until you dispatch them and cook them, correct? Or like a
Actually,
crab?
a lobster will, if you were to get it home,
Mhm.
okay, put it on the bottom shelf of your refrigerator, and they'll stay alive up 24 hours. Or if you're like I do and driving from out here, I take a large ice chest. The day before I leave, I go to one of the aquarium shops and I'll fill it about halfway with clean salt water.
Mhm.
And then when I get my lobster and my scallops, being positive, scallops I put in, lobster I let loose, and then I have an air pump with air stones on them that I put inside to keep the water aerated so they can breathe. And I just bring them all home live.
Okay, cool.
Any other questions? Well, thank you. I appreciate the questions. Good, very good questions.
Make it all happen.